there, it's Christy with the Chirp YouTube channel. I am here today with you to talk you through stage 2 of the communication book protocol that I have been discussing with you, which is called the Picture Exchange Communication System. Now, please remember that for all the details and all of the information that you will want to put this into practice, it's a good idea to buy the materials that the Picture Exchange Communication System people have available for you. And I will put all those links down below. I highly recommend them. This is a fantastic protocol and it really, really works. I just want to share some of the basics of how we put this into practice with children and families, because I know that a lot of families do not have the resources to equip themselves the way that we hope all families should be able to do. And I want to provide as much as possible so that you can help your children, or if you are another professional, so that you can help your clients in the absolute best way that you possibly can. And believe it or not, that way is not through expensive augmentative devices. It is not through iPads. It is not through miracle cures and hyperbaric chambers. It is through visuals. I do lots and lots of videos about visuals because they are the mother tongue of our students who have developmental delays that affect communication. So I'm going to keep talking about them because visuals are what makes the biggest difference to our students, and so we want to provide them as much as possible. As you will have seen in the previous video in this series, this is a communication book. And if you did not already see that video, please watch the first section of this series up there and then come back and watch this one, because this one won't make a whole lot of sense to you until you have seen that one. Today we're talking about stage 2 of this protocol, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And stage 2 is called distance and perseverance. And this is where we will have a visual for the item we know that the student wants, but maybe sometimes it won't be lying right next to the item itself. Perhaps sometimes it might be on the floor instead of by the fridge where the child is requesting her water. So she has to find it and bring it to you. The other part of this stage is perseverance. And in this stage, perhaps the visual will be where it normally is, but instead of waiting with excited expectation right by the child, looking at her every movement, perhaps instead you are turned the other direction and you are not watching. Perhaps you actually start to go into a different room and the child has to come after you to get you to hand you the picture. Please remember, this stage, once again, just like stage 1, usually requires a partner, usually requires 2 adults to work with the one child. This is why it's very helpful to have someone else in your home who can work on this with you, or you work on this maybe when one of your child's providers is available to be there with you. Let's say that your child's very favorite activity is rocket balloons, and I can see why it would be. I'm going to put a link right up here to how rocket balloons work and a link down in the info box so that you can buy some for yourself if you wish to. They're fantastic and they're a great communication toy, and they're also a great toy for encouraging social interaction and requesting. Let's assume that this is one of my child's very favorite activities and it is going to be time for playtime. And I'm pretty sure that she's going to want to play rocket balloons. I get out the rocket balloons and I put them up on a shelf where my child cannot reach them. The other person I have to assist me in this 2-person endeavor is seated behind the child and isn't touching her or anything, is just waiting there but out of the line of sight of the child if at all possible. Now, I am simply going to put the picture down in front of the child. And the child, hopefully having graduated from stage 1, is going to pick up the picture and hand it to me. And I'm gonna get down the balloons and we're gonna play with the balloons for 3 to 5 minutes. Usually the shorter, the better, as long as we can have a little bit of fun during that time. But we want to give ourselves the opportunity to repeat this process lots and lots of times. So this is why I say only 3 to 5 minute chunks. And then I'm going to maybe leave the picture, while the child's watching me, I'm gonna maybe leave the picture by accident on the coffee table when I go to get the balloons, and not remember to bring it back and put it directly in front of the child. This is the distance piece. It's not a far distance. The child can still probably reach it with her hand, and yet everything is not being provided for her. She needs to make a little bit of effort. If she doesn't automatically reach over to the coffee table and then hand it to you, the model and partner in back of her is going to take her little hand over the child's hand, reach for the picture, and then let go and see if the child will hand it to you. And if not, she helps the child hand it to you as well. Now this takes a while. At each step we have to pause and we need to wait for the child to become independent with this skill. This is why I am doing this video in stages. Number one, because the process is a stage process, and number two, because I really want to encourage you to not push your child, to wait until your child has full command of that stage and then move forward. That is the distance piece, and we want to keep doing that. Maybe we put it on the coffee table every time for 5 times, and then maybe, whoops, I leave it on the kitchen table or a little bit further away where the child can still see it when you're doing it and starts to pay attention. Where did mom take that picture? Another game we play during this stage is the perseverance game. And this game is where you pretend that you're not quite paying attention when you know that the child is going to hand you a communication picture. So perhaps, oh my goodness, I have a hangnail and I need to take care of that right this minute while my child is sitting there trying to hand me the picture. And I'm, oh, well, I better look at my nails. And so the communication partner with the child might prompt her to tap you on the knee. If she's verbal, she might say, "Mama," or whoever you are, using your appropriate title. Or she might help the child make a noise. It depends on how you want your child to get your attention. Obviously, verbally is the best way because then we get more verbal practice. But if your child is not verbal yet, and that's the case for most children with whom we start using this communication system, then we just have her take the child's hand with the picture and tap you on your knee with it. And then you turn and look, and your child hands you the picture, with help if necessary. So there are 2 different parts to this stage. The distance portion, where the picture is left not directly in front of the child, and the perseverance portion, where the child has to actually make sure that you're paying attention so that she can give you the visual. As you can see, once again, it's another huge step in communication ability that your child will get from being able to learn this and to be proficient and independent with these skills. That is stage 2. I hope that was helpful to you. Do leave questions for me down below, and be sure to check out all of the resources in the information box down there, because there is a ton of information, and I know as families, as maybe non-professionals in this field, even as professionals in this field, without a huge amount of experience, not only scholarly experience, but also actual practice experience, it's very hard to tell which resources are good ones and which strategies are actually going to work, because there are just so many crazies on the internet, and even crazies write books sometimes, so it's really hard to know. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to point you in the right direction so that you can do what is best for the children in your life. I hope you have hope today and that your week is a wonderful one. I'll see you soon. Bye.